My intention about that was very simple. I wanted to change this question, why me, into why not me. It was very clear by the age of 18, 19 that it's going to be very difficult for me to become a player on the top level. I was playing on a semi-professional level, and so I made a decision maybe not to get rich in football, but to get old in football. So I started to study, and in 2003 I did my first coaching license, the C license, and so half of my life I was thinking how to behave as a coach, but never thought about becoming a head coach or whatsoever at that time. And then in 2010 I became an assistant in the youth academy, and an assistant at Besiktas with Slaven Bilic, and then an assistant at West Ham. And in 2017, for the first time in my life, I had the feeling that I have a job, not a passion. And because it was in the beginning of November when we received a phone call that our time at West Ham is over. And it was maybe the most toughest moment in my career as a young coach. And then all of a sudden you have the feeling that you're becoming a checklist. You need to give the mobile back, the car back and stuff like this. And all of a sudden you have the feeling now this is really a job, not a passion. And it was a very tough day to go home and to tell the family that the time in London is over and that we are leaving the club, the city and the country. But then by the end of the day I received a phone call from a German club on the same day where I lost my job, that they want to meet and interview me to become the new head coach. And so on the day of the toughest day of my career, I also received the biggest opportunity. It was a very strange interview because they told me that they would like to have a new young manager who give the club the success that they deserve and that they need. And everything that I asked in this interview was, why me? Why is it me you think is the right one? And then they asked me to get promoted because it was a second division team in the Bundesliga. So on the next morning, I sit down and ask this question, who am I? I think it's one of the most important questions in life that you have to ask yourself. And so I asked the question, who am I? And so I started to prepare on that day where I sit down, I denied every offer to work as a head coach and also to work as an assistant. And it took me about 6 months' time where I finished my pro license and where I wrote down who I would like to be as a manager. And it took me a while to create for every experience that I made so far in different countries, in different roles, on different levels. I try to create a one-pager, a one page for every subject. Is it the coaching philosophy? Is it the playing style? Is it how to communicate with the staff? What are the roles that I would like to have in my staff? What are the questions I would like to ask my players on the first chat? What are the principles that I would like to have on set pieces? And so it was a very confusing start in the beginning, and then I just set down everything what feels right for me. So I started to create a handbook, who am I? And I wrote down everything, and this process took me a while, and it's still not finished. This is something that I update every day, but this is the first moment where I start to think about to become a head coach. And my intention about that was very simple. I wanted to change this question, why me, into why not me. And after 6 months' time, writing down everything, finishing my pro license, I said, okay, why not me? It's going to be a difficult job, of course, but I think you're ready for that. And talking to Slaven Bilic, who gave me the final push to say, hey, I don't know when it's going to start, but once it's going to start, you're going to be ready for that. And once I had this feeling, not only about myself feeling ready and prepared for that role, also others that are involved in the business for many years, I had the feeling that I was prepared to say yes once the opportunity comes up. There are challenges as a leader, as a manager of every club, of every team. I think the biggest challenge is that you have to make decisions before you know the result. But everybody else is judging this decision after they know the result. This is, I think, one of the biggest challenges that you have as a manager or as a leader in the world of sports. Of course, we are playing hopefully 3 games a week, but as a manager or as a leader, you're playing every day. You're playing games and matches. One of the matches is player versus coach. So as a coach, I'm always responsible for what we are doing and who is doing it. The players are responsible for the how. How are we doing the things? How successful? How good? How often? How many times? How long are we doing the things? So this is one of the challenges that we are facing. Then, of course, you are facing the challenge of, I call it, windows against mirrors. Because if things don't go well, windows getting more important than mirrors. So all of a sudden, it's everybody's starting to point fingers instead of raising the arm and take the responsibility. So not to look what's happening left and right and to blame him or him or him, to put the mirror in front of your face and to take the responsibility. This is one of the challenge that you're facing. One big challenge as a manager is that building a team versus picking a team. So one of my major jobs and responsibility is to build a team, to work into the same direction. But I'm picking a team every 3 days. So this is one of the biggest challenge that you face in the world of football as a manager. I believe in conflicts because if you want to reach the maximum, you need to leave your comfort zone. And if you want to leave the comfort zone, you need conflicts. So as a manager, if you don't have conflicts, you're too soft. It's a thin line between having conflicts and losing the dressing room. So to get the best out of the team, you need conflicts, you need to manage and deal with conflicts, you need to make sure that the conflicts don't last too long, but you need conflict to leave the comfort zone. Another challenge in the world of football is motivation versus discipline. Because, of course, I'm responsible for the motivation, but motivation comes and goes, but discipline stays. And all of us want to have a great picture by the end of the season, lifting a trophy. But one of the challenges is who is ready to go the whole road, the whole pathway to this picture. And for that, we need a good discipline instead of a daily motivation. One of my favorite quotes talking about leaders is from Steve Jobs, who said, if you want to make everybody happy, you can't be a leader. You need to sell ice cream. So this is the most important, that you know that being a leader doesn't mean that everybody likes you. And this is a process that you need to be ready to go through. I think you need many skills to be a leader. First of all, you need deep knowledge of the game. You need to know how to win games, how to be successful in sports. The second thing is that you need a good strategy, how to reach targets, how to reach the goals. The third thing is you need a fluid intelligence, that you are able to solve problems under big pressure. For that, you need a good emotional control. It doesn't mean that you only control your own emotions. You also need to be ready to read the emotional state of others. You need good influential skills to influence the people around you. You need to have a good personal integrity, to stick to your personal values. And for that, it's very important to show resilience and to know why you're successful or not, because it's of you, not because of decisions of others. You need, and this is a tricky one, a good role authority. I think in the modern world and in the modern society, it's not easy to be an authority. So I made a decision that I need a good role authority. So I have different roles in my life. I'm a father, I'm a brother, I'm a son, I'm a husband, I'm a friend, and I'm a coach. This is where I need authority. So that means that everybody needs to respect my decisions. Don't accept them, respect them. I don't want my decision to be accepted. I want to improve, to prove me wrong, but respect all the decisions because they're only made to get the best out of the team. And you need to reflect on things and be very honest with yourself. So to know not only what is needed, also who is needed around you to support you to get to the maximum. You have always 4 types of players in every dressing room. The first player is the survivor. He's just happy when the day is over, when the session is finished. Then the second character in your dressing room is what I call the entertainer, who is happy with the salary, who is happy with the followers that he have. He just needs this kind of external motivation, then he's happy. And then the third one is the fighter. The fighter is the one that likes to improve on the daily basis, is the one who wants to beat the opposition, who wants to be better every day, and who wants to win every session, every game. And the fourth one is the leader. The leader is the same type like the fighter. The only thing is that his skills are also that he can influence others and make from survivors entertainers, from entertainers fighters. And this is what it's all about, to create a core of energy with people around to support you in this process, that you are not in a 1v1 situation with a disappointed player, that you always create an energy within the dressing room, within the team, that everybody's on the same page and everybody's on the same line to the road of success. I'm ready to go for the next chapter in my career. I'm a very young coach, I know, but I was able to, in 3 seasons, I was fighting for 3 trophies. Fortunately, I won 1 in my first season with the German Cup. And the season after, we missed to win the German Championship. And in the 3rd season, we missed to win the Champions League title. And if you ask me, a couple of years ago, I was miles away for lifting a trophy. And in the recent years, I found out it's just 1 or 2 steps.